My Halloween project this year was very nearly almost turning my wedding dress into a corpse bride dress. But I thought if I did that, you'd all hate me a little bit. Instead, I'm going to take a crack at a really cool idea I saw on Pinterest a couple of years ago, which is why I have acquired Emily here. I have plans for you, darling. We are going to have a go at making a really awesome Halloween costume dress completely made out of Halloween decorations and a crap ton of hot glue. Let's go! Many rotations of the earth ago, this super cool lady made a dress completely out of Halloween decorations, and I have wanted to have a go at that ever since I saw it. It lives rent-free in my brain. Through my web searching, I found that she actually has a YouTube channel and she made a YouTube video on it, so I will link that in the description so you can watch the original if you want to, because it does look so cool. I don't think what I make will look that cool, to be honest, but I'm gonna give it a good go. So step 1. Acquire Halloween decorations. Problem 1, I live in England and Halloween here is somewhat less than enthusiastic. I did try to go to the shops and buy some Halloween decorations in person, but I had no luck. It was pitiful. It broke my heart. I went to so many different shops in town and in every single one it was just like they either didn't have any Halloween stuff or they did, and it was like a quarter of an aisle of some Halloween bits. The opposite side of the aisle was just Christmas as far as the eye could see. That got me really down. That was actually when I went to Tesco and bought my cauldron mug to cheer me up, but even then, that was the only decent thing Tesco had as well, so I didn't get any Halloween decorations from the shops. I then turned to the virtual world and did my Halloween decoration shopping online instead. Let's have a look at what I got. You've already met Emily. She is the first acquisition to use for the dress. And then my other box of goodies, we have some severed zombie hands. Excellent. A very small pack of plastic spiders. Some very shrink-wrapped, not sure what the word is, you know, like that spooky bandage fabric that you just kind of drape everywhere? That stuff. This stuff's great because you can just damage it, rip holes into it, give it a very disheveled look. Some autumn leaves, which now look, everything looks so tiny. I'll pick those up in a second. The last thing that I got were these eyeball LED lights, which I can't show you because I need to find some batteries for. I will admit they're a lot smaller than I thought they'd be. If the advertisement was correct, these should light up green, which I thought would look pretty cool just to weave into the dress. And then we do have Emily, and I will have to take the wedding dress off of her in a second. I'm almost sad to use her because I kind of just want to keep her because she's far cooler than I thought she'd be. Alas, I need to disassemble you for my project, but I'll keep your head. I did not actually get very far into this task when Dan approached me with this. Needless to say, I was no longer required to draw any of my own designs because I became obsessed with this. Dan gets me. He knows that my inner dream is to be a bog witch, and he is helping me realize that dream into reality. The first thing I need to do is make some kind of base dress thing that I can stick everything onto. And then from there, we have all of the green and black terry fabric, which is just going to be draped over everything. Then I'm going to have to cut up Emily. I'm sorry, dear. The main reason we bought her was for the rib cage. I'm also going to try and salvage the spine from this thing to go down the back of the dress. And then there will be various bones that I will then also use for bits like the arm cuffs that will drape fabric off, and then just anywhere I want to stick stuff just to up the spooky vibe. The zombie hands are going to be all gnarlied up so that way they can be poking through the ribcage. In theory, assuming this works. The autumn leaves, which are now all over my floor, those are to just stick across the fabric. The eyeball lights are gonna go inside the rib cage, so there's just these luminescent green eyeballs just poking through it. We're gonna try and make a little headpiece. I do have an old wig somewhere that I'm gonna completely trash. Spiders, I'm just gonna dot around. A lot of this thing is just gonna be improvising as I go and just doing whatever looks cool and covering things in paint, and just, it's gonna be so messy, I can't wait. But before I can get messy with everything, I do need to make the foundations. Today is gonna be sewing, and tomorrow we're probably gonna get messy with all of the crafts. I'm just looking up a very quick tutorial on how to make a slit dress. just so we can quickly plow through this bit. Very technically done pattern, as you can see. This will be the main bulk of the dress. The top triangles a little bit where it will just meet up at the front and back, and then I'm going to use some of the excess on the side over here to get out some little straps for it. So very, very basic. We now have our very basic slip dress to be the foundation. It only mildly makes me want to make some gothic pinnacles. I'm now going to add green and black net bandage fabric stuff to try and replicate Dan's design as much as possible. I think I want to use green for the arm pieces, so I'm just going to cut that first and put it to the side so I definitely have enough for later. The width on this is so wide that I've got enough to just fully wrap it around. I'm going to cut that to a decent length on the floor and then just sew it in place and start just tearing the bottom so it's all in strands. Keep just adding more on and making more tears and making more strands between the green and the black to really just layer it up, and hopefully that will look pretty decent when I've done all of that. Got about 2 layers of fabric on the mannequin at the minute, and I've just started doing the rips and tears into it to give it a lot more texture, and it is looking very cool. We are at the very start of this make and I am absolutely loving how it is looking so far. It's just so gnarly. I twisted the mannequin too many times and now I've confused myself. That texture has turned out amazing. I definitely want to reuse this technique when I'm doing like mossy things because that is stunning. I genuinely can't believe that looks so cool. Stitch on the rest and then probably start disassembling the skeleton tomorrow. This is gonna hurt me far more than it's gonna hurt you. Most of this pops off and there are some very tiny screws in the back there that if I can just unscrew those, then I can just take this off with no cutting. I'm gonna go and look for a very, very tiny screwdriver. I have returned with mini screwdriver. The next big stage is to get these all sanded and painted to look gnarly. Files and sandpaper and just whatever to scratch everything up and put dents in it and hack off any bits that I want to cut off, just to get it very just rough looking, so that way when I paint into it to weather it, a lot of the dark paint will fall into all those cracks and marks and it will hopefully look really cool. Oh, I also decided to not use the spine and to use the back piece instead. so I don't need those. I think I'm going to cut some of the ribs off, but I'm going to do it so you can see where they used to be. I'm going to wedge this one in lower down, which means I'm going to cut the thumb off because it is far too in the way. I then used the hacksaw to add loads of marks into the hands so they looked all injured. For the rib cage, I realised pretty quickly that the shoulders stuck out too much and it limited my arm movement when I had it on. For the front, I completely cut the shoulders off so I could move around while wearing it, and for the back pieces, I only needed to trim a little bit of the shoulder blade down to make it more comfortable. I also cut all of the fingers off the hands to use for the arm cuffs later on, and finally I marked and scratched up all of the bones and sanded everything down to be painted. I am enjoying this a little bit too much because this is definitely gorier than I intended them to be. I love them, and now I'm moving on to the little hands. I've given my witch some backstory. On the ribcage pieces, I've created like this broken rib and these nick marks from a weapon, a stab wound cause of death for the bog witch, and then I've done a matching mark on the back as well. She's a witch with a backstory. I also put a very thin layer of Mod Podge on the hands to make them look very flesh-like, and it's worked very well because they look very gross. And then on the nails, I've tried to put in all like these scratch marks and dirt to make it look like they've tried to claw their way out of a coffin or something. The finger bones were just very quickly, rushly done at the end, so I'm gonna cut them up and turn them into the cuff pieces. Very happy with the results. If not, a little bit grossed out by them. Guess what? I hit 10k last night. I definitely needed a jump with longer sleeves to pull this off. I know I'm still a baby channel, but this makes me very, very happy and very grateful to you all, and you guys are the best. Has anyone ever told you that? Because you are. Back to the project at hand. That was not intentional. I didn't think this project would look quite so this. I thought because I was making it out of Halloween decor that it would look quite kid-friendly. The paint has very much changed that vibe, and I'm now thinking I probably shouldn't wear this to answer the doors to trick-or-treaters, lest I scared the children. Whilst getting everything painted, I realised for the bone pieces, I can assemble these like they are armour. My original plan was to sew each piece to the front and back of the dress. Now I'm thinking that they should stay separate pieces. Use some of the fabric to create some straps at the shoulders, and I've left these plastic edging on each of the sides, so then I'll just lace these up like it's one of those medieval kirtle things or a corset or something. The shoot is tomorrow and we have much to get done. Let's get on. This shouldn't be too complicated to figure out. That looks so cool. I do need to glue all the hands and everything to the front piece, but I think I am gonna sort out the straps first and then get it back on the table and glue afterwards. So if I just cut this in half, if I had scissors. Oh. I do a little bit of rip work on it, nice and gnarly. I think I've easily said gnarly like 50 times this week. It's up there with totally tubular. The vision is coming to life. This hand sits nicely across like a hip space, and then this one basically just cops a feel so it can sit against me. So now I need to hot glue this on. Are you hot yet? I'm impatient. Or lukewarm at absolute best. I'm impatient, hurry up. Let's start gluing some things in some places, shall we? It's gonna drip. Where do I put glue first? Let's try putting some here. I want them to hold in place enough that I can take it off and then glue it properly on the table. And it's actually kind of freaking hard. To say I drowned this in glue is an understatement. I think I got through about 4 of those glue stick thingies. I was taking absolutely no chances of this coming apart. For the arm cuffs, I cut some wire to overlap when wrapped around my arms and wrists. I then cut each finger piece into its individual bones and hot glued them on one by one so that the wire could bend in between the bones and the cuffs would be flexible to get on and off. These are very cool. I might just wear these just every day from now on. They're definitely rough around the edges, but love it. Let's finally get these batteries tested, shall we? 3 AAs. Allow me to go scavenge. Got 2. I don't have a clue where any more would be, so I'm gonna temporarily take them out of my mic to test this. So it's gonna go quiet for a moment, if I can get it out. And we're back. The light up eyeballs are really cool. I quite like them. Considering the rest of this turned out far more gory and realistic. Well, not realistic, but you know what I mean. The light up eyeballs are now very much going to throw that off. If I add the eyeballs in, it will definitely tone down the scary factor. Probably make it trick or treat friendly again. But if I leave them out, then we can just lean into the actual scare side of it. Now it's time to work on the wig. I'm going to bog witchify this. I'm gonna just go into it with pens and maybe paint and add some dirt and add some green and make it look like this person lives in a bog. Unfortunately, the front of it does have a fringe, which isn't ideal for the look. Use either hair gel or frankly just glue. Sweep the fringe to the sides and get it to stay so it doesn't look entirely like it's got a full fringe. Get stuck in and get messy. I took the precaution of cling foaming my mannequin head because I didn't know if this was going to get messy or not. Reminds me of that scene in Merlin, you know, where Gaius gets possessed by the goblin and starts slapping Ufa's head around. It's just like... Anyway, I'm going to start by drawing in some different tones of grey, and then I'm going to go in and start adding some of the murky green kind of colour and maybe a little bit of brown. Oh, I might actually have to unknot this. It's too tangled to even get the hairs up. Damn it, I need to brush this. I'm very not happy about this development. I don't even brush my own hair. I've done the first little bit and it has definitely gone a lot more Beetlejuice than I intended it to, but I am loving it. I am definitely getting this wig back out for a Beetlejuice look. It also took me ages, so I really have to speed up to get the rest done. Then I instantly got the brush stuck in the hair so bad I thought I was going to have to cut it out. I am about halfway through. It is looking very cool, but it is also taking a very long time. Right, time is getting on. The wig took me hours. My pens absolutely ran out of ink, so that last little section took me so long to do because the pens were just dry and I was just trying to rub out any colour I possibly could to get it to match how it looked when I started. I now need to make a headpiece. I have thought of a new idea for the headpiece. I'm going to do a crown type thing, very quick, very botched, because I really don't have much time because it's already like 6 o'clock and I've still got stuff left to do on the draft. It occurred to me that the feet kind of look crown-like. Chop the toes off and then attach those to a wire frame, and then they will either be painted or they will just be quickly spray painted black because I'm really running out of time here. There's so much left to do. I'm tired. I very quickly hacked the feet off, then made a wire circlet crown for the base using a flower crown as a size guide. This was pretty sharp, so I used the hot glue to cover the wire ends, and then I used an unholy amount of glue to attach the severed feet to the base. She's finished! It's also late and I'm tired. I did skip a few steps because of time. I omitted the autumn leaves because they're very brightly coloured, so I needed to paint them before putting them on, and I don't have time because it's late and we need to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go do the shoot because we, I don't know, do for some reason. I did make the little foot crown, which worked out surprisingly well. I don't think I filmed it though. I think I started filming it and then I was just rushing and I got tired and I stopped. So yeah, I think I skipped a bunch of steps, but it's finished. It looks very, very cool. I'm really looking forward to the shoot tomorrow, and yeah, enjoy the results. I had so much fun doing this project, and I am obsessed with how the shoot turned out too. When I was walking bare feet on those rocks, it was so cold that I thought I was going to have to amputate my feet because the cold hurt so bad. I was so scared of a few of the local dog walkers. That's just becoming a hazard of the job at this point. Even though I didn't get time to put the autumn leaves on, and I completely forgot that I've even bought spiders to use, I think the costume holds up really well as it is. I think the overall look really worked with everything that I did put into it. The only thing that actually bugs me is on the original design, there was this little bat's head belt and these little Wolverine finger talon things. My bat that I bought for that did not arrive until the day after the shoot, so I couldn't put those elements in. I suppose on the plus side, I now get to keep this really cute, anatomically inaccurate bat skeleton. He also has little feet that are hooked in a way that he can just hang upside down on things, which is adorable. I love him. I hope you all enjoyed this make and have a wonderful spooky season, however you celebrate. My next project is one that you've all voted for and I have now acquired all the materials for. It is finally time to make Elphaba's stage dress. All I can promise you is that I will try my best. Thank you so much for watching along. Don't forget to like and leave a comment down below. You all know how much I love a good natter. If you're new here and want to see some more of my projects and probably see me curl up in a ball on the floor over making Elphaba's dress, feel free to subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notifications. And I will see you all in my next video. Happy Halloween! This is so much harder than it looks, just so you all know. Many bleh. Yeah, that's pretty... Just whipped myself in the face with her. What's love got to do with it? What's love but a second emotion? The wig is getting caught on the bone cuffs. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Ah, release me. Oh, the spikes, and I'm stuck. Oh. Who needs a heart when a heart is broken? Be gone, demon. I'm just basking in its warmth now. Oh, it's so warm.